Hi, I'm Darius Abron. What's up, flowrez and flowrez's class?
I'm Vincent Safone, and today we are going to be doing a video on the O.J. Simpson trial and using the evidence to perform a prosecution and defense retrial.
O.J. Simpson was a 1970s halfback in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills, and he also played for the 49ers. He was one of the best of all time, and he was a Hall of Famer. He was also a commentator and a movie star.
This was all until he killed his wife and a 25-year-old possible male interest of his wife. But neither of these can be proven because they're both dead.
To start us off, I'm going to be defense.
And I'm going to be the prosecution.
There was blood found at the scene with Simpson's and the two other victims' genetic markers. Also, there was a shoe size 12, which Simpson is also.
This placed Simpson at the scene of the crime, and a cut on his finger could be the reason there was so much blood found around, as in the blood drops and blood on a gate. But in his defense, he said that it was part of a problem he had at his house with kitchenware.
But samples were sloppily collected, and also the blood could have been placed there by somebody else.
On the scene, a dark knit cap with hair similar to O.J.'s was found, along with fibers in his car. A witness that night stated that they saw a black man wearing similarly fibered clothes walking away from the scene of the murder. This places him at the scene.
But 10% of LA has a black population. The hair that was found contains dandruff, and the hair found has no dandruff, and O.J. has dandruff. I'm sorry, I messed up. The fibers from the clothes could have came from a blanket that the officers unfurled onto Mrs. Simpson. There was 2 gloves found, one behind O.J.'s house and one at the murder scene. They both had O.J.'s blood and the victim's blood.
Simpson probably lost the glove during a dispute with his ex and the 25-year-old, and dropped the other one behind the guest house when trying to hide it. They couldn't fit during the actual trial because the blood had shrunk them.
In O.J.'s defense, the glove was planted by a racist detective, and also the blood was planted too.
Finally, bloody socks were found at the base of O.J.'s bed. This directly links him to the victim because the blood found in the socks was directly connected to O.J. and both of the victims.
This evidence was planted by police. Blood was planted there too, in O.J.'s defense. Blood-soaked socks were Wait, I got this.
Pause 10 seconds.
Pause 10 seconds, hold on. Gotta get into character. Alright. Blood soaked to the other side of the sock. It went from one side to the other, and it wouldn't have done that if O.J.'s foot was inside the sock. As you can see, boom, can't do that. There's a foot in the way. In the final conclusion,
O.J. was guilty because throughout the investigation and around the scene of the crime, blood was found with markers of both his DNA and both of the victim's DNA. There's no way he could have not done it.
O.J. was not guilty because all the DNA was found could have been planted. And it was. No way O.J. Simpson, an idol, people that look up to O.J. would have possibly done this. The DNA is planted.
In his defense, I will have to say, during this time, cops were slightly racist.
70s,
Less racist
60s.
Now, yes. During that time,
80s.
It was a problem. So the blood could have been planted along with the hair because, as we know, O.J.'s wife was still technically married to him as she still had the last name. So they could have gone to her place and taken samples of hairs and planted them on the scene, along with the clothes in the same with your blanket.
But in the prosecutor's defense, O.J. had every motive in the world because who was that mystery guy? You never know. O.J.'s a big dude, definitely can kill 2 people. But all in all, O.J. got off because of the timing. It didn't make sense. It didn't add up how O.J. could get to his house, murder all these people, get back, plan them, hide them, whatever he did. Is impossible.
Yeah.
O.J. got off. He walked free. A couple years later, O.J. got arrested for breaking into some hotel.
Yeah.
And
Not that smart.
assaulting somebody.
In his defense for that, he was saying he was stealing back some stolen property, but You don't break into someone's house to do that.
That was a conclusion on OJ's life. Now he is in prison. Couldn't
Nothing
buy
else.
his way out of that.
Yep, because he's broke.